Hi there, Paul Thompson here from Spitfire Audio. We're quite often asked for comparisons between the different libraries that we do that have percussion in them. And while they don't all contain exactly the same instrumentation, you can compare some of the percussion from one library to another to hear the sound of the room and the tone of the individual recordings to see what will match your style of music best. So let's dive in and have a look. Bass drum is a great instrument for finding the low-end resonance of the room that you're recording in. Those sounds from hammers were recorded in Charlie Clouse's house. Let's move on to Hans Zimmer percussion bass drum recorded in the gallery at Air Studios. Now, when you're recording in a large space like Air, obviously the mic balance is going to make a huge difference if I just turn these mics off and only have the surround mics. And as these are Hans's mixes, they do sound quite hyped, but you also get the vanilla mixes in the professional version of the library. In Spitfire Percussion, we have, again recorded in the hall at Air Lyndhurst, a very traditional sounding orchestral percussion library. But having these three microphones again gives you a huge amount of variety in the sound. These sounds recorded in Abbey Road Studio 1 give us something that is very familiar to all of us from the film scores that we've listened to that were recorded there. And this room has a fantastic resonance for percussion, a really kind of fantastic boom in the low end that gives you a lot of power in the sound. And again, you've got all of the different microphone options to give you a total sculpting possibility for the sound. Very much tighter sound at Maida Vale here, where the BBC Symphony Orchestra library was recorded. But again, you've got a huge variety of different microphone mixes to sculpt the sound with. Now that we're familiar with the styles of the library and the different rooms that have been recorded in, I'm going to move through the sounds quite quickly and just play one sound after another and give you a few examples for the mics for each sound. Let's look at the Darabuka. This is an instrument that appears in hammers and in Hans Zimmer percussion. Now let's look at some toms. Now there aren't specifically toms in Hans Zimmer percussion, they're all slightly more unusual alternatives. So I've put the surdos up as an alternative, which is kind of similar. Next up, a Rototom comparison between Hammers and Spitfire Percussion. Hammers has a solo 2-player or 4-player, so let's check out all of those. Now finally we're going to listen to two tune sounds. First up is the timps, and bear in mind that some of these are multiplayer recordings. And last but not least, the xylophone, which gives us a really great idea of how the room reacts in a very bright and sparkly area of the frequency spectrum. I hope that's been useful as a point of comparison. All of these rooms are fantastic. They all sound great. They're fantastic recording venues and great rooms to record percussion in. So it's really more about the kind of sound that you want to create in your productions. But one thing that I would say is that all of these blend incredibly easily together. It's just a case of putting a little bit of extra hall reverb on some of the slightly drier, more stage sounds. But when you do that, you'll find that because of the fact that they've been recorded with very, very similar techniques like the decker tree, they will sit in a space incredibly easily together. Thanks very much for watching, and look forward to seeing you on the next one. Bye-bye.